Welcome to the Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast, where we have inspiring and insightful conversations about breaking free from life's biggest challenges to find fulfillment and purpose. I am your host, Seema Giri, an international speaker, best-selling and award-winning author, book writing mentor, and publisher. I bring you real-life stories of healing and transformational journeys so that you know that you can create life on your own terms. Our heart-centered guests are the everyday heroes that you find in your backyard, from mothers to sisters to friends to entrepreneurs and authors. Join us to hear their positive and powerful stories so you too can learn to live with purpose and joy. Welcome to Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast. I'm so happy to be here with you for another amazing episode. My name is Seema Giri, your host for this podcast. After all these episodes that I've done, I realized I haven't had a one-on-one conversation with you. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a one-on-one conversation. And as usual, before we get started, we're going to do a quick grounding meditation. Relax, sit back in your chair, and just feel the strength of the chair that you're sitting in and how it is supporting you. Taking a deep inhale all the way to your belly. And as you exhale all the worries and concerns and appointments and stuff that you have going on today. Just let all of that go for right now. I promise you it'll be waiting for you when we're done. Taking another deep breath in. And exhale and just relax into your seat. With your next inhale in, I would like you to bring your awareness to your heart. Maybe even put your hand over your heart to bring that awareness. And I would like you to think of a happy memory. It could be from any time period of your life, including today. And now, relive this moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Experience the bliss, the joy, and the peace that you felt the first time. Think of the ambiance. Who were you with? Was it friends, your loved ones, your family? Or maybe it was a time alone just for you. Embody that feeling. Now, with the next inhale, all the way to your belly, I would like you to bring your awareness to the top of your head to the crown chakra. And now think of a second happy moment. It can be from any time period of your life, including today. Taking a deep breath and relive that moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Embody that bliss, that joy, that happiness, that peace that you felt at that time. Now that we've opened up our heart and our mind and they're connected, I would like you to bring your thoughts right here to the present moment and open yourself up to what you might hear today. It might be something for you, or perhaps it's for someone that you know and you are the messenger. I'm also opening up myself to the possibilities of what can happen, what I need to tune into so I can be here and deliver the message that you need to hear today. And with your next breath in and exhale, open your eyes with a great big smile. And just tune into that feeling right now for a few seconds. And see, how is it that you're feeling right now? What came to you in your mind and heart as we did this quick amazing grounding meditation together. I just got a lot of smile and goosebumps of what the possibilities can be. Really, when you're living in the present and in the moment, you have no idea what can come about. I've experienced that personally. So to give you a little bit of my background, and maybe why you should listen to me, is I have 30 years of experience in helping people create what they want, create a life that they want to design. I started out as an accountant. I got a business degree in finance and accounting in college. And I worked as an accountant, found out that wasn't for me. The professors in college were amazing, and I did really well. And I thought that is what I wanted to pursue. Especially since I was really detailed oriented and very organized. But as you know, when you get into the real world and you see how the work is actual day in, day out, it didn't suit me. So when I got married, my husband and I, we started our own business. He was the entrepreneur. I was so risk averse. I came from a risk averse family that was a huge thing to do. So I went in hesitantly, but supporting him. And we trained nearly 100,000 people and supported Fortune 500 companies in setting up their project management systems, making sure that, helping them ensure that they were on target, on budget, and within scope of what they were trying to deliver. And during this time, I also got extremely sick. It took 6 years for my doctors to discover what I had. And during the 6 years, I was told that I was a hypochondriac. It was all in my mind. I was in such chronic pain continuously. I had inflammation, swelling, could not keep my eyes open. I slept 16 to 18 hours a day and still felt like a Mack truck ran over me. So during this journey, this really long, tough journey, I really became aware of my inner voice and my intuition. And it kept telling me that, you need to push and go to another doctor. So the 12th doctor, thankfully, believed in me, did some different tests. All the other doctors that did the tests, everything came up normal in. He was a younger doctor, was thinking out of the box, did some new kind of tests, and discovered that I actually did have issues. And at that time, it was called fibromyalgia. In the 90s, it was new and upcoming disease, and not many doctors knew about it. And they also felt it was an overall catch-all bucket for things that doctors couldn't figure out. And I also had rheumatoid arthritis and hypothyroid. Hypothyroid was discovered earlier on, but I still had these consistent pain and inflammation, which was not explained by hypothyroid. So during this discovery, I found out the inner rebel that was growing in me, or perhaps it was always there. This was the time to come out, because the doctors told me that my life was going to be of pain all my life. And after the delivery of my son, I became bedridden. And they said, Seema, this is the kind of lifestyle you are going to enjoy for the rest of your life. I looked at them with a blank stare, no expression, no feeling, nothing. Perhaps it was disbelief. And I looked at my son that I just had a couple months ago. And the fact that I couldn't enjoy him, I couldn't hold him, I couldn't pick him up, I couldn't put him next to my heart and enjoy the bliss of being a new mother. And I decided that was not going to happen, that I was going to be an active part in his life, and we were going to have a normal life, as whatever normal meant to us. And I set out on that path. Of course, my doctors laughed at me when I said that to them. But here I am, 24 years later, totally healthy, happy, found a way, was very active in my children's life, and went on to have a second child. I'm blessed to have a son and a daughter who are now young adults thriving in their life. As a child, I loved storytelling. I was born in India, moved to Germany, and moved to the States. In Germany, I lived there for 3 years and learned the language fluently. I was a translator for my parents. They were not able to pick up the language like I was able to. And I would love to talk to people and interview them. I'm imagining maybe Oprah was like that too. You could not get me to shut up, and not knowing the language didn't even bother me. I spoke in Hindi and they spoke in German, and somehow we were able to communicate. As I would come home, I would, help old ladies, help people park. It was just so much fun. I would drop off my friends at their house, go off to the park, and just stare into the water and watch the ducks. I would just sit under the tree like Buddha and wait for enlightenment. And I guess that was my meditation practice then that I didn't know. And my parents would be searching for me everywhere, finally find me. And yes, I would get into a lot of trouble. Then in elementary school, we would have this time period where I don't remember what they called it, but it was like a publishing house where there would be some students that would be editing, some students that would be deciding whether it's good enough to be published, and some students that would be writing stories. And I was one of those students that wrote the stories. The editor would review it and give me feedback, and I would make changes, and it always got selected to publish. Now back then, I never thought that, one day I want to be an author. One day I want to write a book. And that one day I'm going to help others share their stories. I always admired people that wrote the books. I read voraciously. And I always thought that I was not smart enough to write a book. But it never even came into my mind that this is something that I wanted to do. So after 20 years of project management business, running that with my husband, training, speaking everywhere, and helping people upgrade their life, realize their potential, train my own employees of 250 people that we had, discover their genius, and realign them to what they were doing. I had the opportunity to really discover what is it that I wanted to do when I stopped working for a while and became the sole caregiver for my mother who was going through lung cancer. So at a moment's notice, I just dropped everything, picked up the kids. I was living in India at that time, moved back to the States to take care of my mom full time. And that's when I started again reevaluating what is it that I wanted to do. I was getting this nagging feeling again from my inner voice that, Seema, you've supported your husband in this business. Now it's time for you to branch out and do something on your own. But what is that? I could not figure out. So during this journey of being a caregiver to my mother and just seeing the struggles that she was going through, how she really did not want to go. She felt like she had so much more to do. And she felt like the time was taken away from her. She waited all this time for my father to retire so they could travel and do things. So most of her life was spent waiting and waiting. And I realized that's not something that I want to do either. My interest had always been in health and wellness. And I guess so because I was thrown into this illness that I had to recover. So I wanted to help other women, entrepreneurs, and mothers reclaim their life and their health, where they could be really contributing more into their family's life and their own life in the way that they wanted. So I started off with doing wellness coaching. I formulated the system and the process that I had created and started sharing with women on how I healed myself. That's when I got the opportunity to write my first anthology, in which I was an author, with 3 of the New York Times, multiple times best-selling authors. And that was Dr. John Gray, who wrote Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars, Marcy Shimoff, who wrote Happiness for No Reason, and Raymond Aaron, who wrote Double Your Income, Doing What You Love. These guys are really known for these books. I was really scared. I didn't know, how things were going to turn out. I really felt I was going to be judged for, who am I to be sharing my story and advising other people based on what I had done. But I really felt that this was something that needed to get out. And this was my way of helping women break the silence, break free from whatever's holding them back from shining their light, and really go out there and claim what is theirs. The more we talk, the more we release the shame. The more we share, the more we release the shame around the things that we are dealing with. And I wanted to normalize this conversation and get things started, the conversation started within families. That was my main intention. And the feedback I got from that was so amazing. People were thanking me for sharing my story. People were thanking me for sharing the process that I embraced at a time when nobody was there to help me. I was by myself trying to figure this out. Everyone else was telling me to listen to the doctors because they were the experts. But I realized that the doctors were doing a lot of experiments, so I need to experiment on myself. If I'm giving someone else permission, someone that I don't know, someone who doesn't even know my own body, and someone who's just looking at the charts for 5 minutes, I felt I could do better because I know myself better. And this gave permission to others, to other women, to take the same approach, to experiment themselves, and most importantly, to believe in themselves at a time when no one else was believing in them, to trust themselves, to have faith in their own knowledge. So sometimes when you share your story, you don't even know in what ways and capacity you are helping others. It is so important to acknowledge your story. So many times we are giving this label that my story is not good enough, or my story is bad, or, I have led a pretty good life. I don't have a tragedy story. We're not labeling anything. It's not about good or bad or right or wrong. Your story is your story. It makes who you are today. So embrace that. It is so important to acknowledge your story and that your story matters. The steps that you have taken to become who you are today is something that someone else can use as their survival guide or their thriving guide. I'd rather say thriving guide. So I really encourage you to embrace that. After that, I got the opportunity to help other people share their story. I realized while people were coming and thanking me that they've, have experienced joy and freedom, that they too can break free from hearing my story, a group of people also came up and said, I too have broken free from this challenge, and I broke free from my financial distress. I broke free from my health issues. I broke free from the generational patterns that they felt that their family was cursed with. And these were amazing stories from people in our own backyards, who I call the heroes in our own backyard. They're your neighbors, your own family members, the neighborhood doctor. There's so many amazing people. There are heroes everywhere if you look. So I wanted to create a platform, a storytelling platform where people can share their stories show how they have overcome their challenges and how they created a life by design. They were no longer living a life that they felt life had just handed to them and they had to deal with it. These are our change makers, our rebels, whatever you want to call them, but they're our everyday heroes. And then they had gone on to create a life, create a business. Then they went on to create a business to support others in achieving the same result of creating a life by design. We can really create a life by design. If you don't get anything else from this episode, I want you to know that you can create a life by your design. Sometimes it's tougher to know what kind of life that you want. So start dreaming. Start thinking. If I had a magic wand and I could do anything I wanted, how would I create my life? Oh, that just sounds really scrumptious to be thinking about. So here are some my ideas of why every entrepreneur should write a book. So number one is that writing a book sets you apart from the competition. There's something inherently grand about books. No one just writes a book because writing one takes time. It's hard work. It's not easy. You have to be dedicated. You have to be committed, and you show your expertise. And that is precisely why writing a book is important. For this very reason, your audience will know that you're committed. If you're committed to writing a book and sharing your story and sharing how others can regain their power, you have the knowledge, you have the expertise, you have that personal experience, and they get to know, like, and trust you. It builds up your credibility instantly and positions you as the authority. When you're a published author, many opportunities open up. You may not be making a lot of money from book sales. And I say you may not because many people don't. Many people write books not to make money from the book sales, but for write a book from the way it positions them, and it opens up so many new opportunities. Doors open for you in places that without a book it doesn't. It is really today's business card. That's why author entrepreneurs can easily get media exposure. Based on a recent survey, at least 63% of author entrepreneurs can get themselves featured in online magazines and in newspapers just based on the publishing credential strength. More than 70% get an invitation to speak at an event, and these opportunities, whether they're paid or not, allow you to market your business for free. Writing your story can be incredibly healing. It is a very cathartic experience. It helps you gain even more clarity on what you're doing and on your story. It also helps you ascend to the next level of transformation in your journey. You'll discover some new aspect of yourself. You will discover how you feel about certain things. You will discover how much further, more evolved you have become from, in your journey than you realized. It's a very humbling experience. And you grow. You grow so much more internally that it really helps you support your clients even more and gain the visibility that you need to grow your business. 86% of published author entrepreneurs have reported that publishing their own book has helped them grow their client base. And this is how it builds the know, like, trust factor. There are all different types of people. Some people, they will love you instantly and want to start working with you. And then there are those who need a little more touch points with you. They need to do a little bit more research and understand who you are, how you help, and what is your background. A book is a great way to do that. And It's a great way to give people information in small bits over a period of time where they can embrace your story, understand what you're doing, watch and follow you. And sometimes there are people that may not be able to afford to work with you depending on where they are. You will be touching lives of millions, and many of whom you won't even know, but you know through your book, you're touching the lives of people and making a difference of those who could probably never afford to be working with you. And I know, as an entrepreneur, as a person who is in service to others, the bottom line is that you want to make a difference in any way possible. So the book allows you to reach even those that you may not have the opportunity to serve directly. Sharing your story can really transform other people's life. You can really be an inspiration. Many people think that they're in a situation that is so unique and different and they can never come out of it. By reading your story from your circumstance, your situation, your cultural background, can really help people look within and say, you know what? If this person could do it, so can I. We're really helping them take one inspired action, which can make all the difference in the world. So to recap, why I feel everyone needs to write a book is: first, writing a book sets you apart from the competition. Being a published author opens you up to exciting new opportunities. You get media exposure, radio exposure, online, offline. You get many opportunities to speak, whether it's paid or not. You're always continuously growing your client base and lead generation. Your book is an investment that keeps on giving. You can really use the book to create other streams of income, which we will be talking about in next couple of episodes. Writing your story can be even further incredibly healing for yourself. And sharing your story can transform another person's life. You don't know how and when you'll be touching someone who can take an inspired action and somehow find you, refer you to work even more deeply with you. This book writing journey is a testament that when you're supposed to be doing something, it somehow finds you. And when you're in the moment of doing what you're meant to do, it doesn't feel like work. Publishing 4 books in 18 months, and this was during the pandemic time, was one of the easiest things I've ever had to do. Now, there were challenges in between. There were some tough decisions and learnings that went on. But the ability to take 50 people, 50 entrepreneurs, majority of them females, taking them through this journey of acknowledging their story, activating their inner gifts, and achieving the results of holding a book in their hands, of sharing their life work with others to potentially save 15 to 20 years of their life, and leading them to #1 international best-selling status on Amazon, has been incredible. It has really been a spiritual experience for me. I would see the visions of the titles and the covers. It would come to me. I would be able to replicate it in the physical form. And it did all the attraction on its own. People would see the covers. They're all vibrant colors because I believe life is supposed to be full of colors, festivities, joy, bliss, and the coming together of diversity and uniqueness. I hope you had some key takeaways from our time together today. Let me know if you've written a book and how that has helped you and impacted your business and impacted your desire to help others. And if you're looking to write a book and you don't know how to get started and where to get started, I would love to have a chat with you. I offer a 30-minute free consultation, and we can see, based on your situation, where is the best place to start. And until next time, this is Seema. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I know I did. Through this transformational journey, I hope you could see yourself taking similar steps, breaking free to your brilliance, and creating the life that you desire. Please subscribe to our Break Free to Brilliance podcast at your favorite listening place. Tune in to next time for another amazing episode.